Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Okay. Y'all know I'm now risen from the dead. I was laying down. I've got a headache, y'all. But I wanted to come on here and just talk to some of you guys because, listen, y'all. I know I don't have a big platform on YouTube. And I know maybe not a lot of people see my videos, and that's okay. But I know there are a lot of people that are in active addiction that are struggling with opiate addiction and that might feel ashamed because they're using medically assisted treatment. Hey Tasha, hey Deidre. And I want to talk to you guys, okay? So I'm not going to look at the comments. I'm just going to talk to you guys for a second. I used to be really ashamed to get on, that I was on Suboxone. And the reason why I was ashamed that I was on Suboxone is because it was drilled into my mind that the only way to recover from the disease of addiction was if you went to AA or a 12-step fellowship and you were abstinent. Okay? That was drilled in my head for 10 years. And for 10 years, I would go into meetings, get sober, and relapse. And I would go back and forth, back and forth. I would go into meetings, I would get sober, I would get a little bit of time sober, and then I would relapse. All right? Thank God I'm alive, right? Thank God I didn't die. Thank God I made it out because I came so close to dying. I was in a coma for 7 days. My internal organs were shutting down, and my mom and dad came there to sit with me until they had to pull me off life support, right? So in 2015, my son was taken from me by the state of Arkansas because I was shooting drugs into my veins and I couldn't take care of him. And rightfully so, right? They took him away because I was doing drugs, and that had to happen. But what I'm trying to get at is I got out of treatment after going to a quick 30-day treatment. You know, after 30 days, you're supposed to be cured. That's the way these treatment centers they do it, you guys, because you get out after 30 days and you're not even near ready to touch down on the soil of the ground outside where other people are at, right? After 30 days, nothing was even latching on. My brain was just being cleared of the fog that I had been in for the last 12 years straight in active addiction, okay? So after 30 days, I didn't even remember what they told me when I was in there. Now, you guys also have to remember that I've been to treatment 5 times. And I've been to prison once, okay? So, after 5 times of going to prison, or going to treatment, and a 1 time of being in prison, I knew that what they were saying wasn't working for me. Because I would get out, and I would try so hard to do what they told me to do and stay sober, and then I would relapse, okay? So when I got out of treatment after 30 days and I wanted to get high, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I had to do something different this time because I had tried that way. I had tried to get sober through abstinence many, many, many times, and it wasn't working for me. I wanted to be sober. I wanted to change my life, okay? So when I got out of treatment after 30 days, I went to see my doctor and I said, help me. If I relapse, I'm going to lose my child. And that's when they told me about Suboxone. And I got on Suboxone. And here's the thing. I got on Suboxone, and the way my doctor explained it to me was he said, when you get on this medication, you have to make changes. This medication is not going to cure your addiction. So you got to get on this medication, and then you have to get to work. You have to start therapy. You need to be in a program of recovery. You need to have a sponsor or an accountability partner. You need to get busy taking action and changing your life. And so, wow. I had tried to take action before, but see, I needed, Suboxone gave me stabilization. It gave me something to fall back on. when I was struggling, when I wanted to get high. Okay, and it blocked my receptors from being able to get other drugs onto them. So if I wanted to relapse on heroin, it would knock it off. I'm here to tell you guys that I've stayed sober, haven't relapsed on a pill, a drink, a snort, a toot, nothing, since I started Suboxone in 2015. I've almost been sober for 4 years, and now I'm tapering off Suboxone. But what I learned while I was on it is that recovery has nothing to do with the drugs that I'm taking into my body. Drugs and alcohol are just what I used for my solution to the way I felt on the inside. I struggled on the inside, and that's why I reached for substances. So now that I've been stable on Suboxone for 3.5 years, okay, and now that I have figured out the reason why I get high, now I've started to address those issues and work on the inside. Okay? Work on the inside. Hey, cutie pie. It's so important for everyone to understand it doesn't matter how long you are on Suboxone. It doesn't matter if you're on it for 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, or 10 years. If you aren't working on the core issue on the inside, you are going to struggle. Okay? Addiction centers in our mind. All right? We have to start figuring out what's the how, what, when, and where of why we were getting high. All right? And once we can do that, and we can start, maybe we have underlying issues. Maybe we have dual diagnosis. Maybe we have depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, manic depressive, bipolar, okay? And we get ourselves medicated for that, okay? You guys, here's the thing. Some people need medication, all right? Some people are going to be on medication for the rest of their lives. It doesn't matter what medication you're taking. It doesn't matter if you're abstinent or you're on Suboxone. You can be an asshole on both. You can be... Recovery has nothing to do with what you're taking into your body, you know? And I think that people forget to understand that. It's like, recovery is a whole, it's a whole overhaul. It's finding something within yourself that you once had that was lost. And for me, that was my fucking sanity. And it's like, today I have my sanity back. Today I have my dignity back. Today I have respect for myself back. Today I have self-love. And so when I see somebody who is in full-blown ego-driven chaos talking about medically assisted treatment on their channel that has 80,000 subscribers, talking like they know how long people should be on it, it pisses me off. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up and sit down. Just be quiet. It's like, why would you even want to put that out there in the world to your 80,000 subscribers? Why would you want to make people who are vulnerable, who are looking up to you, and who think, this guy's in recovery, I want to be like him one day? But instead, that's the thing, you guys. And there was literally young lady. I'm going to go to the video and I'll show you right now. There was literally a girl in the video saying, I just got on Suboxone and I've been on it for 2 months. But now I don't know what I should do. Should I get off of it? Well, listen, honey, this is what I'm going to tell you. You shouldn't listen to what Chris Booty says, because he can't even handle getting criticized for his dumbass fucking shit that he's saying over there, because he blocked your girl, okay? And I wasn't being mean. I wasn't saying nothing mean. I was telling him, what are you thinking, dude? This is dangerous. Don't say this shit. You're not on Suboxone. Here, if you want to hear about Suboxone, come over here, y'all. I've been on Suboxone for 3 years. I will tell you about it, okay? I will tell you all about it. I know you need to taper if you're on Suboxone. You can't just jump off, because then you're going to be sick, all right? But it is so dangerous to get on a platform to 80,000 people and put this narrative out that being on Suboxone for any amount of time more than 2 weeks is wrong, because that's not the truth. Who on the motherfucking earth puts somebody on Suboxone for 2 weeks and then pulls them off? I don't know anybody. I've never, here where I live, you get on Suboxone and you work a recovery program and you go to therapy. I just watched your video about the rewired cell comment on Suboxone. That's so dangerous for him to say things. Yeah, and that's what he continuously does, you guys, is he continuously says these things because he thinks that he knows it all. I don't know it all, you guys. Okay, I don't. But I also know that my channel is about recovery from addiction, and I don't want to alienate anybody. I don't want you guys to think, oh, I've been on Suboxone for 6 months. Am I doing this wrong? There's no wrong or right way. No person is the same. Everyone is different. Where someone else might be on Suboxone for 2 weeks, maybe that happened for somebody, okay? But somebody else might need it for 6 months. You cannot say that Suboxone should not be used long term when there are so many different people in the world. It's like, dude, it just it discourages me, and it makes me upset because Chris can't even see. I don't even think he can see it. Or I think that he's such an asshole now that he just wants to say shit to piss people off. Because I don't go over to his channel, y'all. I'm unsubscribed. All right? And that's what people have got to start doing with him. They just got to unsubscribe and move on. Because he's going to continue doing these things and to rile people up. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I went over there and I commented to several people. And I said, listen, you're not alone. Do not be ashamed. Stay on the medication for as long as you need to get your life together. That's what it does, you guys. It gives somebody, the way I describe Suboxone is it's like, you know when you break your leg and you got to go get a cast, okay? Suboxone is your cast. It's holding your leg in place and letting it heal, all right? When you get that cast taken off, you don't just start running down the street, do you? No, you don't. You go to physical therapy, you take it slow, you work that leg out, right? You take it easy. That Suboxone is the cast, okay? It's helping you. And once you get strong enough and you can get off the medication, then what do? You take it easy. You focus on your recovery. You get it. I mean, that's what you need to do. Suboxone's only 5% of your recovery, you guys. The other 95% is you getting into therapy, you getting into a program, you taking action, honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, right? No, I will not. I'm not even going to watch it, Spotted Elephant. I'm not even going to watch it. Because all it is Chris talking out of the side of his neck. Okay? Before I got on Suboxone, I sounded just like Chris. You know why? Because I was talking out of ignorance. Because I didn't know what I was talking about. Now I have first-hand experience. I'm living it right now. And because of people like Chris, I used to feel so ashamed. I wouldn't say shit about being on Suboxone because I was ashamed and embarrassed because I thought I should be off of it by a certain time because somebody who's nobody said I should be. That's what we all have to remember. Chris is just a regular dude like me making videos about his experience. And this isn't even his experience. Okay? This is my experience. I'm on medically assisted treatment right now. Okay? And I worked my ass off, you guys. I worked my ass off to get to a place where I feel like I'm actually making progress in my life. I'm actually stable in my recovery. I never thought that I would ever not want to get high. I was a poly-substance abuser. I fucking shot up anything that would go in a needle. I loved methamphetamine, I loved cocaine, and I loved shooting Roxy's. Alright? So, Suboxone is just blocking the opiates. Okay? I can get high on anything else I want to get high on. But I don't want to. I want to live a better life. I want to do the right thing. I want to help my son. I want to help other people. And I see so many people who are vulnerable, who look up to him and look up to people like him. There's other people, you guys, who have made videos about Suboxone, and then they take them right down because they know better. Because, you guys, this is what I'm talking about with you guys. We have to be mindful of what we're saying because our words, they carry consequences behind them, and they can hurt other people. Do you know how many people comment on my channel every day who never had anywhere to come and talk, that were on medically assisted treatment, that have felt like they don't fit in because they go to a meeting and the meetings kick them out or tell them they can't talk? Chris is just, he wants to be right so bad. And when anybody even tries to comment and let him know, hey man, this is dangerous, be careful what you're saying, he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want anybody to even, he needs to be told about himself. But it's like, his channel isn't getting views. He's not making the money that he used to. And thank God I don't have to worry about that. I love doing this on the side. I love talking to you guys. But YouTube's not my job. And I'm not ever going to put myself on the line to where I would have to depend on it like that. I will always have a regular job. But let me show you, because he's blocked me now, so my comments can't be seen. But I can see them still because, I put them up there. So let's go ahead and look. So we got my comment. It says right here. It says, I'm taking Suboxone. I have been on it for 3.5 years. During the time I've been on Suboxone, I have learned a new way to live through the 12 steps. I also go to therapy. Now I have the support group meetings on my channel every Friday. If anyone here is on Suboxone or methadone and needs support, come on over. It doesn't matter how long you are on Suboxone, long or short. You will go through withdrawal. As long as you taper low and slow with your physician, you will be just fine. No judgment. It shouldn't matter. Just by saying, I don't think a person should be on Suboxone long term is irresponsible. It doesn't matter how long it takes people. Just do it. Just get busy working recovery and get into a program. Okay, that's what I said. Now let me show you some of these comments. It's just so aggravating. You know what I'm saying? Like, And so this girl, Danny, says, as long as you come off Suboxone slowly and are under the supervision of a doctor, it doesn't matter if you're on it long term. Some people need to relearn to live without the option to get high. He blocked me over that. Yeah. That's how he is, y'all. And then he says, preach. But he just got done saying that we shouldn't be on it for long term. Let me find Krissy's comment. Okay. Recovery is different for each person. I think you're sharing a very dangerous message here. Some people need it the rest of their lives, just as a person with diabetes needs insulin. Why even give an opinion on this when you haven't been on Suboxone yourself? It saves countless lives. And let me just tell you, this is how Chris responds to people. I have more experience with Suboxone than most people by working with literally thousands of people. So I think that gives me a pretty good basis to have an opinion on this matter. Literally thousands of people. Well, Chris, you're not working there anymore, so shut the fuck up. And Krissy says, are you a doctor? No. Therefore, it's not your place to provide information on Suboxone. In my opinion, it's not a false equivalence. Addiction is a mental illness. Suboxone treats that illness. Without it, the addict will most likely die. The addict's brain needs those receptors filled. The brain stops producing those natural endorphins and dopamine. The duration of Suboxone treatment depends on a lot of things. How long the person was using opiates, the dosage, etc. All these things are for the doctor and patient to discuss and decide, not a YouTuber. And then he's subtweeting about Krissy too on Twitter. If you need to be a doctor to comment on what doctors are doing with medications, I guess all the journalists covering how doctors created the opioid crisis with Big Pharma should get fired. It's like... And then I said, you're doing great. Just keep doing you. But of course he has me blocked, right? You said you're laying it all out there so people can decide what decisions to make. That is what should be between a doctor and patient. This is serious stuff. These decisions are life and death. It's extremely dangerous to give opinions on the duration of Suboxone use. Again, it's different for each person. And he says, again, the relationship between doctor and patient started the opioid epidemic, which this cracks me up. Because, no, if you have a good doctor, you guys, your doctor is going to work with you hand in hand, and you guys will get through this together. We can't look at doctors like they're the enemy, okay? Because that's just not the case. Not all doctors are bad doctors, okay? So his argument here is just bullshit. He's just wanting to say what he wants to say. And the only thing he's basing it on, am I bad because I don't plan on going off Suboxone treatment? No, you're not bad, Regine. You do what you got to do for you, okay? If you want to stay on it for the rest, that's the thing. We don't care. We want you to live. We don't want you to die, okay? Whatever works for you. Listen, and this is what I'm talking about. This pisses me off so bad. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is life and death, okay? Fuck what anybody else thinks. The only person who matters is you, okay? What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa, all right? This old school way of like, one way or the highway. That's 1930 shit, okay? We talk about it every Tuesday. I read out of this book. And this is a great book. And it has a lot of information about alcoholism and the disease of addiction. But you know what, you guys? We're in 2019 now. And people are dropping dead like flies. So if you, listen to me, if you're okay and you're living your life and Suboxone is helping you, I've been on it for almost 4 years. Okay? The only reason why I want to taper you guys, the only reason I'm going to be straight up with you guys, is because I have side effects from the medication. I'm going to be straight up. I don't want to have sex. And guess what? I want to have sex. So I want to get down a little bit lower on my dose and see if that helps me to feel those feelings again. Okay? That's the only reason. All right? The drug hasn't done anything to my teeth. It hasn't done anything to my hair. My hair's, look, I'm happy. I feel great. Like, life is good. Life is good, right? I've learned a new way to live, though. I do work a 12-step program, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I only go to one meeting here in town now because that's the meeting where I feel like I can share and I feel comfortable there, right? I love being here with you guys because I can come on here and I can talk about being on medically assisted treatment with you guys and y'all understand me. In bigger cities, you guys, they have MAT support groups, but they don't have it here where I live and they're never going to get one probably. So I decided to make my own group. And so that's why we have medically assisted treatment support group every Friday night at 7 p.m. here on my channel. And many, many people come who are on methadone, Suboxone. We have some girls that are on kratom. And we all come here because we all want recovery. We all want to be better people. And that's what recovery is about. It's not about what fucking drugs you're on, okay? Because I'm going to be on my fucking antidepressant, y'all, for the rest of my life. Okay? Without my antidepressant, I'll be over at Chris's house, okay, knocking his door down right now. But I have my antidepressant, so I'm okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so what makes that okay? Hey, Robbie, what makes being on an antidepressant or being on a mood stabilizer okay, but being on Suboxone is so bad? See, that's the thing, you guys. What it is, it's a way for people who are sober through abstinence to elevate themselves. It's an ego and superiority. That's all it is. And I've seen it time and time again. Ego and wanting to feel better than. So they have to elevate themselves by saying, oh, well, I'm sober through abstinence. You're not really clean. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Bobby. And that's just a way to, like I said, just a way to elevate. Now, not all people do that. Not all people do that. There's good people that are abstinent who don't judge other people's recovery. But that's the thing. Those people are far and few between because they don't speak about it. Because they're not out judging other people's recovery. Because when you're pointing the finger at somebody else's recovery, guess what's happening? I'm not working on me. Right? And that's why I just said, fuck the bullshit. And I said, I'm going to make my own channel. And we're going to talk about being on medically assisted treatment. And we're going to share our experience. And we're going to help each other. Right? And so what happens is people get their fucking head up their ass. And it's like, the only way I can explain it to you is that this has been going on with Mr. Chris from The Rewired Soul for months. Okay? And his fucking own ass has gotten so big that he can't see past it. And so if that's what he wants to think over there, I can't change. That's the thing. I can't control or change his mind. But you guys, I will let everybody know that you are welcome here. And whatever your means to recovery is, you got to do what works for you. Please don't let anybody make you feel less than. Don't be ashamed. Don't be like me. Because I didn't speak for a long time. I was in silence for a whole year. A whole year. I wouldn't say that I was on Suboxone because I had experiences with people saying, well, ooh, you're on Suboxone. You're going to get off that, right? How long are you going to stay on? You know that's not clean, right? You know you're not sober, right? Fuck that. Fuck that. Do you know that your opinion doesn't matter? And I don't need to hear it. I would never, ever go to somebody and tell them that. Especially someone new in their recovery. Can you imagine what it must feel like to be a heroin addict? Somebody who has been either snorting or shooting heroin for the last 10 years, who gets on Suboxone and feels amazing. They feel like they have just found what works for them. And then they go to a meeting because they know they need support. Or they come on YouTube because they know they need support. And they type in Suboxone and it pulls up Mr. Booty's video. And then they hear Mr. Booty saying, you shouldn't be on Suboxone longer than 2 weeks. Can you imagine what that would feel like? Everyone's path to recovery is different. I didn't use anything this time, but would never judge someone that does use. Oh, yeah, exactly. And so that's the thing, you guys. It's like, it's ego. It's ego. That's all it is, y'all. And that's what I tell you guys a lot about this because through the 12 steps and when you work a program of recovery through AA, what we learn in AA is that pride and ego will take you down. Okay? So when I think that I know everything and I'm untouchable, that's when Nicole's going to get high. That's when Nicole's going to drink. And so when I'm trying to elevate myself above somebody because of the way I chose to recover, I'm in a bad place. Okay? That's why I'm constantly trying to humble myself down. Use humility. Remember what it was like. That's why I take myself back to what it was like when I lost my son. Because when I lost my son, you guys, I felt like there was no other way And I didn't know what to do. And so when we get so far away from active addiction, sometimes we forget what it was like. Sometimes we need a reminder of what it was like. And that's what I feel like happens to a lot of people that get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years sober. They forget what it was like. And then it's easy to say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. When you're so far removed from active addiction, it's easy to say, that's not a good idea. But when you're in the midst of that sickness, anything is better than that. Anything. So why on earth would you put anything out there like that to 80,000 people? It's just beyond me. Yeah, I think so too, Sandra. I don't understand how someone has been through it would be so heartless with their words and bring people into that situation down. I would never. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because I saw a bunch of you guys tweeting because I'm over on Twitter. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, go over there and let's fight with each other because I love Twitter. And you guys, like, and that's the thing, like, even people who are abstinent, like, I would never make them feel like they're not welcome here. Like, if you got sober and you got sober without medically assisted treatment, you're welcome on my channel. I just want you to remember and to be respectful because other people might do it a different way. And I had to learn that myself because when I first got sober through Suboxone, you guys, I used to think that kratom was the worst thing that ever happened. And then I started seeing my friends that were using it and it was helping them. So now what I say is, I want you to just educate yourself and to be careful because I don't have experience in that. So I can't talk on it, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. We got to be careful what we say because me and my channel, even though it's a smaller channel, people hear our words and they take those things to heart, especially someone who's struggling in addiction. Okay, so it would be irresponsible of me to act as if I know the only way. Okay, and so that's why I've been really working on being mindful of what I say, because I never want to deter somebody from life-saving treatment. Okay, if you choose a different way of recovery than me, I respect that. And I want you to come back and tell me how it works out for you and how you're doing in your recovery 6 months or a year from now. I love hearing success stories, you know? Sonia, it's almost gotten to the point for now, it's like Trisha Paytas made a video about being an opiate addict. And I'm like, I don't know whether to, I'm like, is she trolling? I mean, it's like, now it's cool to troll about the disease of addiction. Now it's cool to troll for views. It's like so disappointing, you guys. It's just, it's very dangerous. And like I said, people are dying every day from heroin, okay? From overdosing on heroin and fentanyl. I also follow some accounts on Instagram, you guys, and sometimes they're really funny, but then sometimes they are just fucking crude and they put up memes about medically assisted treatment. My hair is just so silky right now, y'all. I'm just stroking it. And it really fucking pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off, but it makes me think. Like, I remember seeing memes like that when I was like 6 months sober, and it would break my heart. I would cry because I knew that's what people thought about me. I knew when I opened my mouth and I said, my name's Nicole and I'm sober and this is how long I've been sober. After that, I would say, and I'm on medically assisted treatment. Then everything I said, they would absolutely throw out the window. Okay, I truly believe that recovery is not about sobriety. Recovery is about state of mind. It's about how we change our behaviors and how we act and react. Okay? I believe that Like I said, recovery is an inside job. It's healing from the inside out. Hey, Tony Soprano. That's right. Everyone's journey is their own. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself for waiting 5 months, waiting to get on Suboxone now, and I hardly have to take any Valium. I'm so proud of you, Sandra. See? And you guys, listen, like, I'm never on here. Yes, they do, Tony. I actually go, yes, they do. But I live in a different area where I live, you guys, it's not like everybody. There's a lot of people here that are on medically assisted treatment, but I go to AA, Tony. I don't go to NA, if that makes a difference. And I'm going to tell you guys, like, I probably made a mistake. I probably didn't have to tell everybody I was on medically assisted treatment, right? And I understand that. But that's what I was about to say, you guys. So when I first started going back to AA meetings, you know, I told my sponsor that I was on Suboxone, right? And one of my very good friends. And my friend was also a counselor at the treatment center that I went to. And the treatment center that I went to, you guys, used Suboxone, okay? I stopped going to NA because I felt different, but didn't use drugs. I miss them. You know what? I love, and you know what, Tony? Try going to some AA meetings. I love going to AA, but I know that I've heard some horror stories. I've heard that in smaller towns or like just in other areas that if you say you're on maintenance, they won't let you share or anything. And you guys, let me just tell you something. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That 12-step fellowship, that's not the way it's supposed to be, all right? We are loving and tolerant. We want you to come and feel welcome. We support you no matter what. That's what a 12-step fellowship is about, okay? It's not about judging you, all right? Because here's the thing. Just like me, I've been on Suboxone for almost 4 years, all right? I've gotten to a place in my recovery where I want to try to get off. So I'm tapering, right? Not because I feel awful, not because I hate the medication, but because I want to try and see if I can do it on my own, right? If I get off Suboxone and I don't feel like I can do it on my own, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll just get right back on, right? Oh, I have, I have to go look, Sandra, but it's some kind of conditioner. And that's what I feel like's happening. I feel like he is trying to stir the pot and jump off the back of Philip DeFranco. And Philip DeFranco, you guys, he did a great job of just presenting the facts. He didn't like put his opinion out there about medically assisted treatment. Because here's the deal, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, like my doctor that I work with, I try to tell you guys everything we talk about when I come back from our appointments. They really want me to succeed with my taper. They want to see me do well. They're not trying to keep me chained to the medication. But they know, they have seen others go get on the medication, get spooked, get judged, get told that they shouldn't be on it, and then jump off and relapse. I have seen so many people get on medically assisted treatment, go to meetings, get a sponsor, and then their sponsor tells them that they need to get off Suboxone. So they get off Suboxone and they relapse. So listen, that's why we have to start our own meetings, our own medically assisted treatment meetings, Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous. I have a link in the description box of my video of this guy. His name is Terrence. He actually has MAT support groups, but they're in Ohio. But if you live in Ohio, you can go there and like talk with other people who are on medically assisted treatment, and you have support. That's why that's why I made my channel, you guys. And even if I get off medically assisted treatment, guess what? We're still going to have little group meetings over here, and we're still going to talk. And I'm still going to share with you guys how my life is going and how I'm doing, and if I have to go back on Suboxone, y'all will be the first ones to know. See, I don't understand. Here's the thing, you guys. Like, I sponsor somebody, and this person that I was working with was, okay, I don't want to say it. Never mind. Anyways, never mind. I would never kick somebody out of my car or stop working with them because they got on Suboxone. Let's just say that. I would rather a person get on medically assisted treatment and work with a doctor and be monitored than to resort to go back out to heroin. I don't want you to go back out to active addiction. All right? I don't want you to die. And that's what it's all about. That's what we have to be mindful of. Okay? It's more important to understand that what works for me might not work for you, and what works for this person might not work for them. Oh, Lord, let's see what these comments are. Oh, I'm just so angry, you guys. Like, I just can't even believe that he would do this. Like, it's just so, no, I can believe it, because like I said, with Chris, that's what this has gotten to. It's gotten to, I have to be right. I'm going to put my stuff out there. I'm not going to tell anybody else what's going on. You know, and I'm not going to, Tony, I'm not going to say if he is or if the person is or not, but I'll just tell you this. If they were, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't even matter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked with people who are on maintenance medication. I've worked with people who are not on maintenance medication. And it's just, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, going through the 12 steps has nothing to do with maintenance medication. You know? And and the thing about it, it's none of my business, really. You know what I'm saying? That's between you and God, baby. You ain't got it. That's not none of my business. That's one thing that I learned whenever I was in AA, you guys, is that I'm not a doctor. It says it right there in the book. It says, I'm not a doctor. Okay? It also says in the book that some people that remember we read it just the other day, you guys. We read it just the other day. What was it, Bill that was drinking and he was taking sedatives because he had the shakes, so he started taking pills, right? And so a lot of people will say, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous is just for alcoholics. Alcoholics Anonymous is for people that have a desire to stop drinking. That's the only membership. That's the only thing you have to have for membership. Okay? And it talks about a lot of different stories in the back of the book where pills and alcohol were used, right? And so all I know is that I am not a doctor, so I cannot tell you what is good for you, okay? I will never act like I know what a physician would know, okay? That's why, like, when somebody wants to work with me, you guys, and they're on medications, I tell them they need to talk with their doctor. They need to make sure that, you know, they're on the up and ups and they're telling their doctor everything that's going on. And we're just going to go through the steps. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here to tell you what medications you're supposed to be on because I'm not a doctor. And you know what? If I was a doctor, I'm not your doctor. So I'm not crossing that boundary. You know, I'm not going to do it. And what that does is that saves me and that saves you. You know, all I'm here to do is guide you through the steps. And so, anyway, I just don't want you guys to get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. If you're on medically assisted treatment and it's working for you, you just keep on going. What I'm going to tell you, though, is if you're on medically assisted treatment, this is my advice and a suggestion. If you're on medically assisted treatment, I would start working a program of recovery. And what I mean by that is I would either do a 12-step fellowship, refuge recovery, smart recovery, some kind of addiction recovery program. And I would get into some therapy. I would go see a therapist and I would talk to an addiction therapist, addiction specialist. All right? Because medically assisted treatment, like I said before, is only like 5% of your recovery. The other 95% is going to come from the work that you put in, right? The change that you start making. Everything is going to be on you, the action, right? The medication is just there to block you from getting high from opiates and to help with cravings. Everything else is the work that you put in, okay? So you're going to have to get to work, start taking action, and get serious, right? And what we're going to start doing, I think, on Friday nights when we do our MAT support group meeting is we're going to start, like, talking about what to do. We're going to start from the day you start medically assisted treatment. And I'm going to take you guys through what I did to get a support system, to go to meetings, and I'm going to share with you guys what it's like for me getting a sponsor, and I'll just give you guys little suggestions on things that I think might help you and work for you. I'm going to tell you guys the truth, though. It took me a couple of meetings. I probably went to 6, 7, 8 meetings before I found one where I felt like, hey, I'm going to be all right over here. I can open up in here, right? And I can share what's really going on. So it might take you a moment to find somewhere where you feel comfortable. But that's okay. Don't stop trying. Don't give up. And listen, if 12 steps aren't for you, that's why they have these things online now. The smart recovery, it's like a whole online recovery thing. Refuge recovery, it's online too. And I'm pretty sure they're like starting to have groups in real life too. So just like we searched for dope when we were getting high, we got to search and grab that recovery. So just don't get discouraged, all right? That's all I can tell you is I got to keep telling myself the same thing. I can't let idiots like Chris get me fucking discouraged, okay? I got to keep working on what I'm doing because he don't know me. He doesn't know what's good for me, and so I just got to keep doing what works for me and stay focused. Don't let people get me off track. Because what I think little situations like this are, I feel like this is just the devil, addiction, all that trying to knock me off my course. And that's what happens. When you get on a course and you start going forward, you're going to see, guys, things are going to come at you and try to knock you off course. All right? Because I'm telling you, and I believe in God, the devil don't want you to succeed. He wants you to fall back. He wants you to get high. He wants you to go out. Okay? That's what it is. It's an attack. It's a spiritual attack. And you have to arm yourself with facts about your disease and get spiritually fit. Get God on your side. Get your higher power, whoever that is. Get that person, that entity or spiritual entity on your side. And then start fighting, okay? Because that's what it is. Inside of us, we have a hole, right? We have a void. And when we get high, we're filling that void with drugs and alcohol. But that's not what we're doing anymore. Today we're filling that void with love. We're filling that void with recovery. We're filling that void with healthy habits and hobbies. We're filling that void with our higher power and spirituality. All right? That's what we're doing today. We're doing something different today. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope y'all have a great night. I'm going to go lay down. I just had to pop on and talk with you guys. And please, if you're struggling, just know you're not alone.